Hello there, and welcome back to Dr. Robotnik's Ring Races. It's an exciting moment in this playthrough, as we are now in the penultimate cup of the game. All that stands between us and 100% completion of this massive fan game are the unwieldily titled Recycle A Cup and Recycle B Cup. Recycle Cup A and B would roll off the tongue so much better. And the 2% of challenges that rely on the tracks found within to complete. Unfortunately, Mechasonic will not be with us to celebrate at the finish line because after dozens of cups where his atrocious handling has been massively detrimental to my chances of success, I reached my breaking point after the skate cup and replaced him with his polar opposite. Say hello to Ring the Racer, everyone, as he'll be carrying me into success as I enter the first Recycle Cup. A cup that went very well. If you focus purely on results and ignore the actual races, that is. Both Recycle Cups are made out of unfinished tracks that never got to the quality level needed to get into a proper cup, meaning that they're a bit of an anticlimactic end to a year's worth of generally good track design. SRB2 Frozen Night is an immediate indicator of this, as you spawn into the race to realise that it's a track with a layout straight out of Super Mario Kart, with ice physics, and forced off-road that lasts for 5 laps. A recipe for disaster, made even worse by the fact that I went uncontested by the bots for most of the race, meaning that I was half asleep by the time I crossed the line and got my A rank. And before anyone asks, yes, I know about the Jack Frost Easter egg found here. No, I did not find it, and no, I don't really care to look for it any further. Barren Badlands is one of my favourite courses from SRB2K, and while I suppose it's better that it was included here rather than being dropped from the game entirely, it did make me a little sad when this caused me to put 2 and 2 together to realise that I wasn't going to see a properly updated version for ring races. It's still a great track though, albeit one where the updated physics and mechanics have made some areas a little iffier to traverse than before. I cruised to an easy victory even with routes hovering around throughout the race, but it was bittersweet to see it go just as quickly as it came. SRB2 Meadow match is an arena that I have little nostalgia for. I don't play any SRB2 multiplayer, but that I was still glad to see after one of the earliest prisons dropped a CD. I've had 2 of these CD collection challenges sitting in my challenges page for months now, as they simply were not dropping anywhere, so I was hoping and praying to see a second one drop in the second Prison Break round. Anyway, I beat the round with time to spare. Suffolk Square is another one of those 5-lap courses that is neither fun nor fast enough to justify the inevitable sense of repetition, especially when I failed to qualify, and so actually ended up completing 10 laps. Joyous. I simply had atrocious luck over both attempts, whether that be from bad items, or the constant shrinks, or the fact that I ended up being wiped out anytime I even so much as thought to try and overtake anyone higher than 4th. At the end of the final lap of my second attempt, I got hit by a flame shield, and as I slowly bounced towards the finish line, I was preparing to punch a hole in my monitor if Silver dared think about overtaking me. Luckily, I crossed the line half a second before he did, meaning I could finally escape. But the performance had cost me, and Mail was now just 1 point behind me on the leaderboard. I needed to step up the game. needed to step up the game. Remember that? Turns out I had nothing to worry about. From Blue Mountain Classic onwards, I barely saw a bot. Outside of a close call right to the end of the race, where Meadow suddenly got a massive speed boost and completed half the track in no time at all, it was as if the whole lot of them had fallen asleep at the wheel. All of that time alone in first meant that very little actually happened to me, as the bots didn't even try and send something my way. Although I did gain a companion in a clingy Hyodoro that couldn't give me the guards on top they had stolen. Ended up with me for half the race, even sticking with me past the finish line. I hope they're doing okay. Armadillo. Seems to be a Mega Man X location, but your guess is as good as mine as to why an Armadillo Maverick set themselves up in a beachside facility. I liked it, and I especially liked the bit where, to my great relief, a second CD dropped, ensuring that's a set of challenges I no longer need to worry about grinding for. I also didn't need to worry about how falling off cliffs and being indecisive about my directions may have affected my time, because this round is so generous with its time that there's very little risk of failure. I left with yet another A rank. I wasn't a fan of Angel Arrow Classic at first, as the location of the final race of the penultimate cup. It was a little disappointing to see it take place on another basic Super Mario Kart-esque track, especially one with no background music. It gets a lot better when you begin to make use of the trick panels found throughout, and seeing as the bots were barely keeping up with me before that, afterwards I ended up running away with the race. That gave me the time to pay attention to the skybox and, I just can't figure out what it might be a reference to. Seeing as I had gotten exclusively A ranks throughout the cup, Silver Square's D rank was an anomalous result and should not be counted. It was no surprise that I got into the Sealed Star quite easily. As I've said before, I really have no reason to continue with these, but seeing as I entered Balconies, the first star of the game, with all of my newfound knowledge of how these work, I saw no harm in grabbing the emerald. My first attempt was just barely a failure, as I only destroyed the catcher just before it reached the finish line. But that had done enough damage to make my second, sloppier attempt a done deal. With the Chaos Emerald secured, an S rank here was basically a guarantee. A single D rank was nowhere near enough to change that outcome. It was also a successful Grand Prix for talent completion, between the aforementioned CDs and the Jetta rank follower, unlocked simply by beating the cup. In addition, I believe that all but one of the remaining challenges, all 4 of them, are somehow done on Recycle A Cup, which sets up a final Ring Races stream perfectly. It feels somewhat surreal to be so tantalizingly close to completing this playthrough, and to finally be able to get to work on the projects I've left until its conclusion, whether that be related to Ring Races or just future playthroughs. I really hope you tune into the finale, which will be the next episode. For now though, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and ciao.